Time to talk recruiting, Florida State quarterback recruiting specifically, a 2025 name to know. That's right. This cycle, there is a name to know at quarterback here with Michael Langston, senior recruiting analyst here at warchant.com, Warchant TV. Carter Smith is his name. And Michael, he was a commit to Michigan for almost a year. A couple of weeks ago, I see just before Halloween, he decommitted from the Wolverines. This is an in-state product, Bishop Verot High School. What's the latest intel on Carter, and how are things going with him?
It's going really well. This is the guy that they've kept warm of, just in case something happened with Tramel Jones. It wasn't like they just went in there later and pushed. It was like the presence and how they recruited him was very consistent. Obviously, as he mentioned last night, he's now talking to FSU like almost every night or every other night. So I feel like there's certainly a realistic shot here.
Yeah, so this is again the elephant in the room being Tramel Jones. That's where this interest comes from. This feels like it might be a little switcheroo.
Yeah, I feel that way. I know Carter's at time told him like, hey, if there's two quarterbacks, they'll take two quarterbacks, and I think they would. Yeah, I'm not saying they won't take both of them. I think they would take both of them, but I think it's a situation where I don't see that. I think it's more you're going to get one or the other, and and based on the tea leaves and putting stuff together, it feels like Carter Smith would be that guy, and Tramel's probably gonna end up at Florida. I would say just that's my take and view. I put in a RPM pick for Florida yesterday before I got into this Carter Smith story, but I just feel like when you watch stuff and you see different indications, you have to trust your gut and what you're hearing and the indications that are happening. And the indications are with Tramel, there isn't a visit set, but I would be surprised if he like popped up there this weekend. I think they're hosting LSU. If you remember, he before he shut things down, he visited Florida in the summer. You flirted with them for a little while, so it gets to a point where I don't know. You get your breaking points where, like, I think from FSU standpoint, it's like, hey, dude, we got to have a quarterback.
So talk to me about Carter Smith, the personality type. We've had a lot of experience talking with Tramel Jones over the years. There was even a diary feature that we had on warchant.com, the type of player he is. And he stuck with Florida State for quite some time through a very disastrous season in 2020.
Yes.
What's Carter Smith like, though? If let's just say that this does happen, this scenario plays out, and Tramel makes the flip happen to Florida, to Billy Napier, and Carter Smith is Florida State's quarterback. You don't really have a whole lot of time, Michael, to lead a 2025 class because signing day is so close.
Yeah.
But what's this kid like?
Yeah, great, very laid back, and I think that's why he connects so well with, a guy like Tony Tokarts. But I think just a laid back personality, but one that's very aggressive the way he plays. He's calm, and I think that's kind of what I look for when I look for a quarterback, and I watch him and even watch his film. You see a lot of patience in the pocket. He even told me, I asked him about his season because they're 7-3, and certainly last year he had over like 29 touchdowns and around 2,300 yards. So I think he's a guy that is always in control. I mean, you don't feel like there's a problem. His patience in the pocket shows a lot, as far as how things develop. And I was surprised how well this guy ran the ball when I looked at some of his stats and stuff. He's very effective when he has to run the ball. So I think he kind of fits the mantra what they look for. This is more the Mike Norvell quarterbacks where it's a strong fit to me.
So the last thing I'll have for you, Michael, is about Mike Norvell's approach in the wake of three firings. We've talked about this a lot in many different ways. Just I'm curious, activity level for Mike Norvell with those three coaches no longer able to recruit. I know head coaching rules are a little different. Yeah. I'm just wondering if you've picked up on maybe extra communications, extra workload for Mike Norvell specifically himself, as Florida State probably is going to make some more coaching changes too between now and signing day.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's been very active. I think we already saw that with the great story that Matt did with Solomon Thomas. That was just one of his first calls that he did, which it should be five-star offensive lineman, certainly big. And so I think he's been, very active. I would say even going back to the official visit weekend when they hosted the Javon Boggs kid and some of these other guys that were also there that weekend. I think he was more so doing that then, and I think so. And and when I talked to Byron Lewis the other day, he sounded like he knew that there were changes coming. I don't think he knew exactly what it was. So I think this has kind of been planned of, what Mike has to control, and Mike's comes across as the guy, my experience, that really leans on assistant coaches. So I think, but I think he understands when to step in and say, hey, you know what, we have this, and I think with a guy like Carter Smith, there's always been, a really good, dialogue with him, connection wise, and then I think with official visit, I think if all goes well, I think they're a team that's going to be, tough to overcome based on the early buzz I'm hearing. There's a lot of factors that seeing that where the dots are connected, that for FSU and in the fit, it's closer to home, it's in state, it's certainly a school that he has a previous relationship. I know relationships are a big deal. I don't think NIL is that major of a deal here, based on my conversation with sources around the recruitment. So I think this is certainly a big opportunity for FSU. He does visit Wisconsin this weekend, but I just get the feeling, Tom, that this is one where he might want somewhere, or might prefer somewhere that's closer to home. UCF is also in the picture, but and Carter told me last night, FSU, UCF, and Wisconsin are the main team. So and he felt like it was going to come down to two teams, and right now I feel pretty good that at least right now FSU is likely to get a visit. He said it's trending that way. Story's going to go up on Warchant very soon, guys. So you guys could read all that. But I think FSU is definitely a major strong factor here.
So be on the lookout for a visit from Carter Smith later this month, ahead of signing day. Florida State could have a new quarterback in its class, and we'll have all that documentation for you on warchant.com. The full breakdown of what's going on behind the scenes from Michael Langston on the Premium Recruiting Board. Remember, everybody, we've been telling you about this. We got a special now. We call it the 150 special at warchant.com. So it's $1 for your first 7 days of access to warchant.com. Hot board season, recruiting, transfer portal, more coaches coming, more coaches going out the door. 50% off your first year after those 7 days. So give us a shot for a week for just $1, and then 50% off an annual membership after that. No promo code necessary. Just go to warchant.com and sign up today. Thank you, Michael. We appreciate it. Everybody hit the like button underneath the video and subscribe to our channel. That's always free on Warchant TV. We'll be back with more recruiting news soon. I'm sure of it. We'll talk to you next time.